There's the man. Good work, Henry.
Thank you, sir.
I tell you to take a well-earned rest, but unfortunately I need one more thing from you.
Whatever you command.
Jezek refuses to talk to us. The stubborn bastard's asking to see you.
Me?
Indeed. Normally I'd send for Captain Burner to beat it out of him, but then I told myself that if he's so keen to speak to you...
I'll try to get something out of him. Where is he?
He's locked up in the tower. Bernard will give you the key.
Very well, sir. I need the key to Jezek's cell.
So Sir Radzig let him have his way in the end. He should have let me beat some answers out of him.
Don't take it that way. He probably wants to talk to me because he reckons he can hoodwink me. But that's where he's wrong.
Just try not to mess it up. Here's that key.
Thanks.
Take.
Jesus!
Well, finally, I've had quite a wait.
Why do you want to talk to me, of all people?
You brought me here. You should consider it an honor.
If hanging around in a damp dungeon with a condemned man is your idea of honor...
You're not seeing the bright side. You can be the one who uncovers a conspiracy against the king for your master. You don't get an opportunity like that every day. It did cross my mind, though, that it might be nice to get some assurances for my cooperation. After all, I'm the one the Margrave unjustly declared the scourge of the land and expelled from Moravia. They even pulled my beautiful castle down. It was the necessity of making a living that forced me to take some liberties.
I suppose there's some truth in that. I may speak with Sir Radzig and he might pardon you, but not unless you start talking.
Very well, ask me anything you want. I won't be obstructive.
What I want to know most of all is who's behind it. Who are you making those forgeries for?
Do you think I couldn't have handled it all myself?
I'm not trying to insult you. It's just not a job one man could do alone.
All right, the way it began was I was short of coin, as usual. So I let those crimps in Sasau recruit me.
Recruit you into what?
I didn't inquire too much. In this business, you don't ask too many questions. But when they found out I wasn't just anybody, they put me in charge of the counterfeiting. A foreigner by the name of Eric gave me instructions. But for sure, he isn't the chief. And there's someone highly placed at the monastery who's mixed up in it too. But I don't know who.
This Eric, you reckon he's not the one in charge?
He puts on airs, but he's just a naive young pup. And he's always going on about his lord, though he never mentioned him by name.
Where can I find this Eric? You must have had some meeting place.
He used to come to the workshop unannounced. And after what's happened, I doubt he'll be showing his face there again.
How did you come to hear of all this business?
I met some old friends in Colleen a few months ago. And they said they were heading for Sasau, that armed men were being recruited, and they'll hire anyone.
And then what?
Rapota and I had been living off stale crusts for a month, so I wasn't going to turn down the chance of work, honest or otherwise. We rode to Sasau and met with the recruiters. It didn't take long to realize I was a nobleman fallen on hard times, not some common peasant.
Can you get to the point?
Well, they introduced me to this Eric, and he told me what was needed. They set up the workshop, got the men, the supplies, everything.
Crimps? You're telling me this Eric is recruiting armed men in Sasau?
Well, it seems so. I was giving the recruiters some of the coins to do it. The fake ones, of course.
Where can I find the recruiting gang?
That's tricky. It was my friends who led me to them. We met with them in the woods next to Sasau. It's about who you know, as always.
You said you gave them money. Where was that?
They'd ride to the mine gallery to see me. I don't suppose you'd find them there now.
If you say so.
This highly placed person at the monastery, what can you tell me about him?
I've no idea who he is, only that he's no small fry. After all, he handles the exchange of the forgeries in Passau.
I see. Is there anything else at all you can tell me about him?
No, he was supposed to supply me with materials too, but he backed out. Eric said he probably got cold feet.
That'll do me for the moment.
Will you put in a word for me with Sir Radzig? I'll swear allegiance to him if he'll have me. I'm sick of being a renegade.
Why would Sir Radzig want your allegiance? You're a criminal, and that's how you'll be treated.
So what have you learned?
All sorts of things.
There's some foreigner called Eric behind the counterfeiting ring, and someone highly placed at the monastery.
The monastery? Really?
That's what Jezek claimed.
So it's worse than I thought. If this is true, we'll have to proceed with the utmost caution.
Why? Can't we just go to the monastery to investigate?
No. If the church is truly involved, I have no authority.
So what will you do?
I'll have to think about it. It won't be an easy nut to crack. I'll have to consult with Hanush. And what of this Eric? Who is he?
I don't know, but he's recruiting armed men in Sasau and forming an army.
Damn! So it looks like Pribyslavitz wasn't the end of it.
It most certainly wasn't, sir. And what's more, Sir Jezek is convinced this Eric is only a go-between, and there's someone bigger behind him.
You should return to Sasau and take a closer look at those recruiters. If they're going to attack, we must find out sooner than last time.
It might not be as straightforward as that. Sir Jezek didn't know them and has no idea how to find them.
You'll have to manage somehow, my lad. Don't tell me there's an armed force amassing here and nobody knows anything. Go to Sasau and try to find them.
I'm not sure where to start, sir.
Then ask around the alehouses and inns, or at the Rathaus. Someone must have heard something. These things can't be entirely kept in the dark. Whatever you do, be careful, Henry. And best not mention my name. It would attract unwelcome attention. What we want is for the crimps to take you for just another village lad they can lure into their gang.
All right, sir. I'll try to blend in as best I can.
I know I'm asking a lot of you, but I know of no one else who could help as much as you can now.
As you command, sir.
God be with you.
Is there anything interesting going on here?
There is. And when I get my hands on that bastard, his neck will be on the executioner's block.
I've got a few questions for you, Bailiff, if you don't mind. Have you been having some trouble around here?
And what business is it of yours? Did someone complain? Who sent you here?
No one complained, though I'd be interested to know why you think they might. It was Lord Radzig who sent me. He'd heard word that some unsavoury characters are holed up round here.
Begging your pardon, but what the devil does Sir Radzig care about it? And I keep hearing the same from Sir Sebastian, and he's got no dog in this fight either.
You have an inn and the horse trails cross here. There must be many travellers come seeking work, and not all of them honest men.
Aye, it's true. Bedlam has broken out once or twice, and restoring order was no easy matter.
Has there been anything like that lately?
No, It's been quiet here lately. But now that I think about it, I don't recall coming across anyone here like that.
Nobody looking for soldiering work, maybe as a merchant's guard?
There's always one or two like that. But if they don't get the job, they move on.
Sir Sebastian? Who's that?
Sebastian Baron von Berg. He's here under monastery law to protect us against all this unrest in the land.
Why should he care about the city? That's not his jurisdiction, is it?
Quite true. I'm in charge of this city, but he keeps telling me I've got cutthroats hiding around here, and I should be more vigilant. The goal of the man.
Thank you, Bailiff.
Goodbye.
How come you're wearing such fine armor? Is there a joust happening?
Have you noticed anything suspicious lately?
And what's your idea of suspicious?
God save you, Henry.
Have you heard of anyone looking to hire some rough men?
Mercenaries, you mean?
Yes.
There were some fellows conspiring here in the corner twice a week, and others coming and going. They didn't look entirely respectable, but they never made any trouble.
Where do you think they might be meeting now?
How should I know? I'm an honest innkeeper, not a man-at-arms. They could be meeting at another inn. They could be meeting in the woods by the light of the moon, for all I know.
Is there any way I'll recognize them?
Unquenchable thirst? They drank like fish. They were rough-looking, too. Big-bearded and scruffy. Aside from that, they mostly kept to themselves.
That's not much help. What did they do while they were waiting for someone?
They drank. And they played dice. I do remember there were always dice on the table.
So they were fond of dice, were they? And where would you find a game around here?
Anywhere there's dice and usually drink. That's all you need for a game. Although it dawns on me now, I never saw Simon with those men, oddly enough. He's got a nose for drunken dice players with a coin to lose.
Simon who?
Welcome, Henry.
Why, the young miller. He runs Capsic Mill. Neighbours are always slandering him for trafficking, but who knows? Maybe he just has a knack for business.
And what happened to them?
I don't know, they just stopped coming. And I haven't seen hide nor hair of them since.
You haven't heard anything about where they went?
I'll be back.
How could I have? They just stopped coming, and that's that.
Thank you for the help.
Not at all. But why off so soon? Sit down for a tankard or a bite to eat. Take...
God be with you.
I'm looking for some people you might know something about.
If they come here to drink, maybe. But I won't aid you in any mischief.
I've heard some rough men come here looking to recruit. Have they ever stopped in to eat or drink, or to arrange something?
There were some brawlers that used to fight behind the tavern, but they raised such a commotion, I went and complained, and the town watch drove them off somewhere.
I wasn't thinking about that lot. I'm looking for recruiters that hire mercenaries and other cutthroats.
Don't know about that. Every once in a while, a merchant will hire some help or an escort, but nothing more. Nobody comes here regular. I'd notice if they did.
Do you happen to know where the brawlers you complained about moved on to?
I've not got the slightest inkling. I'm just glad all the shouting stopped. It scared the horses in the stables.
You haven't heard talk of any scoundrels in town?
Well, I have heard some things, but I can't say if they're true or not. There's some that talk just to hear the sound of their own voices.
And who's the most frequent topic of that kind of gossip?
Miller Simon. They say he's rich with coin, and it's not from the mill. But that's nonsense. Folk just don't know how much a mill can earn.
Anyone else?
Aye, there's talk of the knacker giving people the evil eye, or them that's not in bailiff's good graces. But I don't suppose that's what you want to know.
Thank you, innkeeper.
Not at all. Would you like something to eat or drink? God.
Good God, you look terrible. Did someone attack you?
Are you the local knacker?
I'm the local gravedigger. But if there aren't any burials to take care of, I'll turn me hand to knackering.
Well, then you might know a lot of things that others don't.
I'm a decent man. Not always honest, but decent.
Anything fishy going on in these parts?
There certainly is. Candles are being stolen from the church, as brazen as that. What sort of people do that?
Ah, but have you heard of anyone around here hiring adventurers and bandits?
How would I know that? Most people avoid talking to me. I don't even go to the tavern much these days.
And what's been happening in Sasau lately?
Nothing interesting. Except maybe that bitch being slaughtered.
What? Who was she, a villager? I wouldn't call that nothing interesting.
No, I mean a dog bitch. It was a while back, but they called me to clear it up.
What happened?
The dog looked like she'd been hacked to bits. They were scared it was some demon, but as far as I could see, someone took a sword or an axe to her.
Why on earth would anyone do that?
What do I know? Maybe he was snooping around where he shouldn't, and the bitch went for him. I hear there was some dog-bitten fellow being cared for at the monastery. Only they kept him there on account of a broken leg. Maybe that's the same one.
Thank you. I'll be going now.
Very well. Feel free to stop by any time. People shy away from me, except when there's a death, or the cesspit's full. Goodbye.
Yeah!
You can't hide from me. Is that all you... Ha! Had enough?
What's the matter? Come on.
Yeah, I'll take that.
You call that
Fuck!
You'll get what for?
swine? I'll slaughter you.
Ah! I yield!
Ah! Ah!
Listen, have you heard about anyone looking to recruit men around here? Or planning some kind of mischief?
No.
Come on. I know how it is with millers. I've been friends with a few and they hear all the gossip.
So go ask them.
I doubt their ears reach all the way here.
Then it seems you're out of luck.
Surely we can come to some arrangement.
I don't much care for strangers.
So, what do I have to do to get in your good graces, Master Miller?
Well, if I heard from those Miller friends of yours that you can be relied upon, and you're not a complete dolt.
I'm Henry from Skalitz, and I'm looking to mill a bit of extra coin, if you know what I mean.
I expect Peshek sent you. And if it was Peshek who sent you, you can't be a complete dolt. I'll try you out. The tailor in Sasso has received some valuable brocade. Can you get it for me?
No problem. You'll be here in no time at all.
Good. It ought to be at his shop. Bring the whole bolt.
What's the matter?
I have a proposal for you. A wager.
I'm listening.
A little friendly combat. Just the two of us.
All right, why not?
Do you have any coin?
Well,
Surely you didn't imagine we would fight just for the glory of it.
aye, I have.
I'm glad to hear it. Let's get to it then.
I'm going to enjoy this! I'm over here!
I have that cloth for you.
Oh, excellent. Here's your reward.
Would you have any work for me?
Yes, I might have. It all depends if you like beer.
Do you plan to send me for some, or to rob a brewery?
I want the recipe. The landlord in Ushitz makes a brew that could earn a man a pretty sum of money, if only he had a mind to share it. But he doesn't. You'll go there and pinch his recipe. Although he can't read, he had the scribe write it down for him, but you'll have to hunt around for the sheet.
I can't see you hanging up your miller's apron and starting to brew beer. But I'll bring you that recipe.
Fine. Just don't be too long about it.
You haven't heard of any recruiters around here, have you? People looking for armed men?
Perhaps, but I'll not speak of it now.
Why not? It's important.
Because we're in the middle of something.
Come on. Nothing bad will happen if you talk to me.
Perhaps not, but I'll tell you when we're done. My memory will be sharper then.
Right. Christ, it's like pulling teeth with you. I hope you're more generous with your groschen than your words.
Take care.
He's not reacting. But all I can see that's wrong with him is his leg. I have to ask Johanka. What's happening here? Oh my God. Philip and... they're all...
Yes. Where do you think the wounded ended up?
Actually, I had no idea.
Well, now you know. Me and Nicodemus have been trying to keep things under control since Skalitz was raised. Just the two of us.
So can I help at all?
Certainly. We can always use an extra pair of hands here. And it's been like that since the beginning.
I was in a bad way myself back then. They took me to Rat-Eye unconscious, and I needed a healer. How is everyone holding up? What can I do?
Holding up? People here are dying, usually needlessly, and I can't do anything about it. We don't have enough food or space or anyone who's willing to help us.
Doesn't the monastery care for them?
They give us some food for them and a place to sleep, but I wouldn't say they help exactly. More like they just tolerate us.
Do you have enough food?
Enough to survive, maybe. But convalescents need feeding up.
Maybe if I brought some meat, some game, that would strengthen them up.
That would be a great help.
Anything else you need?
Look around.
Well, it is a little crowded.
Crowded? I've had to leave some of the sick lying in the open air, even at night. And have you seen what they're lying on?
I'll try to negotiate better conditions with the monastery.
I tried that, out loud. They just nod their heads, but don't move a muscle.
Very well. Why is there a guard outside?
He's here because of...
Because of you?
Yes. There was one time I just had enough of it all, of the way they treat us, and I almost slapped one of... But that doesn't matter.
All right, that's all I need to know.
Look, Henry, I know I can speak harshly, but I'm at the end of my tether. Last week Bohuslav died. Maybe you knew him. And nobody even blinked an eye. We desperately need help.
I'll do whatever's in my power. What's wrong with that man by the altar? He doesn't look wounded, but he's really pale and doesn't react at all.
He had a broken leg. A bad one. The bone had come right through the skin. We tried to straighten it, but I don't know if we did it right. I'm not holding out much hope for him. I've seen folk in that state before, and it didn't end well.
My God! There has to be something we can do.
And what do you suggest? The monks won't help, and I don't know anyone else who can.
Well, I can try. I'll straighten his leg.
You?
I'll give it a go. It's not like I can make it any worse.
So you don't know anything? Don't even think about touching that poor man.
What about the executioner from Ratai? He usually breaks bones, but he might know something about mending them too.
The executioner? Even if you could persuade him to come, they'll never let him in here.
Well, maybe it would be enough if he advised me and then I tried...
Look, do whatever you want. I have to go and take care of the others.
I'll go and take a look at the others then.
Good.
God be with you.
Is there somewhere I could sleep here?
I suppose I could find something. For how long?
How about if I pay you for several nights?
All right. Money up front, though.
Here you go.
You'll like it here. Like sleeping on a cloud, it is. Farewell.